Todd, played by Gareth Pierce, has turned over a new leaf in recent months on Coronation Street, following the trouble he caused upon his return to the cobbles. As well as making his mother, Eileen Grimshaw's, Sue Cleaver, life less of a misery, he has found a fond friend and co-worker in George Shuttleworth, Tony Maudsley, as the pair have been working together at The Undertakers for months on the ITV soap. Unfortunately, this could all come crashing down around them, as it's been hinted Todd could commit one of his worst betrayals ever seen on the show to ensure his pockets are lined with cash. Wednesday night's episode began with George receiving a visit from a man he thought was coming to arrange the funeral of a loved one. George was happy to help, as he knew this would bring in some money for the business, and so he invited the gentleman in. It wasn't too long before he was chucking the stranger onto the street, however, as George soon realized this was a man from a rival business. With the offer to buy the Undertakers on the table, George was insulted at such a prospect and ended up getting into a fight in the middle of the road. Todd was unaware of how much money the company could be sold for, and he was blown away when he discovered, which could have made the cogs in his mind tick. As George filled Eileen in on his day, Todd came rushing into the house to confront his boss about why he wasn't going to sell. Todd asked, "Are you mad? They're offering you a fortune. £400,000. Realizing this was almost $500,000, George was adamant nothing was going to happen and turned the tables on Todd. "You've been rummaging in my bin," he remarked, with Todd telling him, "I shouldn't have to, you should confide in me." Knowing exactly what the young man was up to, George replied, "Listen to him, kerching, kerching, kerching. You were behind me before. You said I was a man of principle. What's wrong with being swallowed and spat out? It's the way of the world," Todd stated, but this didn't satisfy George at all. "Well, it's not the way of my world. I will never, ever let my clientele fall prey to them bloodsuckers. Shuttleworth's is not for sale," he said before storming out of the room. Todd has always had a mind for money, and when he sees an opportunity to help himself to some cash, he is more than willing to take it. When George's sister, Glenda Shuttleworth, Jodie Prenger, turns up later this week, Todd could see his chance to see the Undertakers. With his boss distracted by the arrival of his sister, Todd could phone up the rival business and pretend to be George. This would allow him to make the sale and also make sure the business put the money from the sale into his bank account. With the deal being George would stay on to run Shuttleworth's regardless of the sale, he would have no idea what Todd would have done. By the time George would figure out what's happened, Todd could be halfway across the world with the money he has stolen. Therefore, Todd's villainous side would be back in full force, as he only thinks about himself and not the impact his actions have on others. As all of George's hard work would be down the toilet, will he fight the sale, or will he agree to hand over the power of the business to another company? How well do you know your British soaps? How many times has Ian Beale been married in EastEnders? What is the name of Bianca Jackson and Ricky Butcher's son on EastEnders? On EastEnders in 2002, who accidentally ran Jamie Mitchell over in his car, which caused his death? How many times has Corey's Steve MacDonald been married? What happened to Emily Bishop in Coronation Street? Who murdered Maxine Peacock in Coronation Street in 2003? Which incident in 1993 killed off 4 characters in Emmerdale? When did the show stop being known as Emmerdale Farm? On what day did Hollyoaks air its first episode? What was the name of the much-loved Coronation Street pet dog who was put down in April 2020 after 14 years? 1996 saw the arrival of one of Hollyoaks' all-time bad boys and rival, Kurt Benson, but who is he? Who is the longest-serving character on Coronation Street? Who shot Phil in EastEnders? How many fires have there been at Corey's Rover's return? Get out of my pub, you're no soaps fan. You're either too young to remember the big lines or have better things to do on weekday evenings. Casual viewer, you watch them sometimes so you kinda know what's been going on. Die-hard fan, you love watching the soaps so much your entire week is planned around when they air. Whatever happens, he would have the support of his sister, Glinda, who will keep him busy with all of her antics on the cobbles. Star of the stage, Jodie Bringer has been cast in the role of the Undertaker's sister, and she will make her first appearance later this week. Discussing her introduction to the soap, the actress said, "She's a woman to be reckoned with. She reminds me a lot of my mother. She's fun and she's sassy and she's a bundle of energy. She does come off a cruise ship and there's a vibrancy with her which is just. She's a dream to play," the actress continued. Executive producer Ian MacLeod added, "Glinda sails in fresh from the cruise ships with a whiff of the exotic, quickly making best friends and enemies in equal measure. The character is loads of fun and has echoes of classic Coronation Street females of old. Jodie is a fabulous talent and we are all very excited to have her aboard. She has felt very Corey since the moment she stepped onto set and I think the viewers will love her. Will Glinda try to hunt down Todd as she makes sure the villain pays George every penny back that he stole from him?